Now I will do the speaking practice with pencil in my mouth for 5 minutes from the book Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. That spring I was tasked as a land warfare instructor for SEALs at our base in Nyland, California, a sorry scrap of southern California desert, its trailer parks rampant with unemployed meth heads, drugged out drifters who filtered through the disintegrated settlements on the Salton Sea, an inland body of water 60 miles from the Mexico border, were our only neighbors. Whenever I passed them on the street while out on a 10-mile ruck, they would stare like I was an alien that had materialized into the real world from one of their speed adult vision quests. Then again, I was dressed in 3 layers of clothes and a Gore-Tex jacket in peak 100-degree heat. I did look like some evil messenger from the way out beyond. By then, my injuries had become manageable and I ran 10 miles at a time, then hiked the hills around Nyland for hours, weighed down with a 50-pound ruck. The team guys I was training considered me an alien being too, and a few of them were more frightened of me than the meth heads. They thought something had happened to me on the battlefield out in that other desert where war was not a game. What they didn't know was the battlefield for me was my own mind. I drove back out to Death Valley to train and did a 10-mile run in a sauna suit. The motherfucker was hot as balls, but I had the hardest race in the world ahead of me and I had run 100 miles twice. I knew how that felt, and the prospect of having to take on an additional 35 miles petrified me. Sure, I talked a good game, projected all kinds of confidence, and raised tens of thousands of dollars. But part of me did not know if I had what it took to finish the race, so I had to invent barbaric PT to give myself a chance. It takes a lot of will to push yourself when you are all alone. I hated getting up in the morning knowing what the day held for me. It was very lonely, but I knew that on the Badwater course I had reached a point where the pain would become unbearable and feel insurmountable. Maybe it would be at mile 50 or 60, maybe later, but there would be a time when I would had where I would want to quit, and I had to be able to slay the 1 second decisions in order to stay in the game and access my untapped 60%. During all the lonely hours of heat training, I had started to dissect the quitting mind and realized that if I was going to perform close to my absolute potential, maybe it would be at mile 50 or 60, maybe later, but there would be a time when I had want to quit and I had to be able to slay the 1 second decisions in order to stay in the game and access my untapped 60%. During all the lonely hours of heat training, I had started to dissect the quitting mind and realized that if I was going to perform close to my absolute potential and make the Warrior Foundation proud, I would have to do more than answer the simple questions as they came up. I had have to stifle the quitting mind before it gained any traction at all. Before I ever asked myself why, I would need my cookie jar on recall to convince me that despite what my body was saying, I was immune to suffering. Because nobody quits an ultra race or hell week in a split second. People make the decision to quit hours before they ring that bell, so I needed to be present enough to recognize when my body and mind were starting to fail in order to short circuit the impulse to look for a way out long before I tumbled into that fatal funnel, ignoring pain or blocking out the truth like I did at the San Diego one day would not work this time. And if you are on the hunt for your 100%, you should catalog your weaknesses and vulnerabilities. Don't ignore them, be prepared for them. Because in any endurance event, in any high stress environment, your weakness will surface like bad karma, build in volume and overwhelm you unless you get ahead of them first. This is an exercise in recognition and visualization. You must recognize what you are about to do, highlight what you do not like about it, and spend time visualizing each and every obstacle you can. I was afraid of the heat, so in the run up to bad water, I imagined new and more memorable self torture rituals disguised as a training sessions. Or maybe it was the other way around. I told myself I was immune to suffering, but that didn't mean I was immune to pain. Thank you. That's it for the day. 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 Thank you. That's it for the day.